Thank you so much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, of course, thinking of all of those that have been impacted by Hurricane Beryl. Now a tropical storm. This thing, look at this. It is a shell of itself as expected. By that, I mean it's really gotten ripped apart as it crossed from anywhere near Cozumel back toward Merida and then pulled off into the western Gulf of Mexico. I'm not positive of how much it is going to re-strengthen. When you see storms get so ripped apart, it's kind of tricky. But I want to show you some of the very warm water temperatures with this as this lifts to the north. Plus, back behind it, there is another tropical wave moving through the Caribbean, crossing Jamaica, not organized, but you could see it here. So it's this blob here. This is a separate area. So Beryl is sitting as a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. This blob right here near Haiti, the DR Jamaica, this is what we were talking about yesterday, this tropical disturbance moving by. With it, some isolated areas of flooding. And as this disorganized area works its way near Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and pushes its way towards Central America, that is really going to enhance the chance of rain. So Guatemala, parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, El Salvador, I'm watching you because we are going to see a much higher risk of flooding as we get over the next few days into the upcoming week. We don't need a named system to cause problems, of course, this time of year with those tropical downpours. So not losing sight of what's going on with that tropical wave moving in. Now, as we work our way out here, here's the coast of Africa. I always like to show you what's next, what may be heading our way. Still no signs of organization. There's one tropical wave right here, another one just off the coast of Africa. And I'll watch these as we go throughout the upcoming week, how they progress and move into the Caribbean. Of course, we've seen things flare up in the Caribbean, so I'll be watching that, but no signs of development there. I try to pass along as much good news as I can this time of year. Now, here's the latest on Beryl. It is a tropical storm. It started to get ripped apart. There is still that circulation. It is now over water, but it is going to take some time to re-strengthen. I hope it takes plenty of time to re-strengthen. Winds right now at 60 miles per hour. That's about 96 kilometers an hour, so those are the winds. There are no hurricane winds in this at this time. It's moving to the west-northwest at about 12 miles per hour. That's about 19 kilometers an hour. There are those hurricane watches that are up for much of the coast, Galveston Bay, as we swing through Texas back toward northeast Mexico. Northeast Mexico, right up through Galveston Bay, there will be a surge of about 3 to 5 feet as this tries to get a little bit stronger and then moving on shore. And you see the models, they're kind of holding now. Several days ago, I was talking about that turn more to the north, not due north, but more of that turn to the north. And we kept seeing that trend the last few days. It's now holding, so we will eventually see more of a turn west-northwest and then turning back toward the north once we go, especially as we get into Monday. This will not make landfall in northeast Mexico. It will make landfall in Texas, but the big question is exactly where and the intensity. Now, the squiggly lines I just showed you, this is charting how strong those squiggly lines are. Those are the computer models showing this in the green shading here. This is day out, 2 days out, 3 days out. That's 72 hours right there. Over the next day, this is going to stay a tropical storm today. Again, the good news is that it is so much weaker. It's not what it was days ago, but it does show a hint by the time we get into tomorrow of trying to become a Category 1 hurricane. But the models are not all showing that. More of them have this staying a tropical storm. Big wait and see. As you well know, I don't just watch these models. I watch what's going on in the environment above our heads and down below with the water temperatures. Those water temperatures are so very warm. So it looks like it will re-strengthen into a hurricane. And here's why. You can see these water temperatures a little bit cooler off the coast of Venezuela, near the ABC Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, over towards St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada. That's in the wake of Beryl. Not super cool at all. Still conducive for things to develop, but you can see a little more yellow in here. We get back here, though, right off the coast of Texas. We have some of those water temperatures around 86 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, about 30, even 31 degrees Celsius. So very warm here. So this thing is really a shell of itself. That is good news at this point. But as it hits some of the warm water, it may intensify. The bigger issue will be some of the coastal flooding that this will try to produce. Now, the heat content, I was mentioning this a few months ago. This is the biggest key to the hurricane season, and we already saw it with Beryl. The heat content is not just warm water, but it's deep warm water. So as a hurricane moves across, or a tropical storm moves across, or whatever, it churns up some of the water, but it just brings up more warm water, and that continues to fuel it. It's these hot pockets here that we are seeing still in the Caribbean and back in the Gulf of Mexico. That's why any tropical wave that moves in, watch out for development. But in the Western Gulf, there is one of these kind of hotter areas of deep warm water that this will be crossing. So it's a shell of itself now, but warm water temperatures and some deep warm water that it will be passing by, that could refuel it. And that's what we're just going to kind of monitor as we go forward. So here's northeast Mexico. Here's Merida. We get toward Campeche. We did have some damage, of course, across parts of the Yucatan Peninsula. The wind map I showed you yesterday generally held. A lot of us tropical storm winds. Thank you so much for your comments. So we across the Yucatan Peninsula doing some cleanup in areas today as we work our way into tomorrow. Now this is tomorrow. I'm going to show you the wind field. It shows this better in a second. The center would be right about there. Here's northeast Mexico. Get over toward Brownsville. Here's Corpus Christi. This is when it will hit that very warm water. So at that point it may spin up more, and this is by Monday morning. Monday is the day it's going to lift more to the north and eventually move into Texas. So northeast Mexico, not much in the way of rain. That catching your eye again near Merida, Cancun, Cozumel, more rain. That's the other tropical disturbance. I'll widen out the view in a second. And then through the day on Monday, this area is going to whatever's left of Beryl, either a tropical storm or a hurricane, will be lifting in. But let me show you the wind field. It kind of shows the circulation. So you see this white shading in here. That corresponds to winds of 80 kilometers an hour or 50 miles per hour. Not hurricane force winds. A big broad wind field coming off the Yucatan Peninsula, and you see it here. This is later today, so not hurricane winds. This thing really got ripped apart over toward the Yucatan as expected. Now it's just kind of a wait and see on how much it re-strengthens. This is by the time we get into tomorrow morning. Still the winds showing, at least on this, the American model, not a hurricane, still a tropical storm. Winds 50 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour generally around this, but getting closer to hurricane strength. Now going out in time, there's the center of this. This is by the time we get into Sunday. We could get some gusty winds for us in northeast Mexico, but then we start to get the gustier winds, of course, throughout the day tomorrow into tomorrow evening. And then while they're still showing this white, occasionally, I know it's a little hard to see, there's some red wrapping in. Those would be winds near hurricane force by Monday morning. Corpus Christi, and just to the north, winds of 110 kilometers an hour of about 70, 75 miles per hour. There is a little red in there, and then this system will be trying to lift up to the north, but with those winds, that onshore flow, that is going to help to bring in that surge, as I mentioned, of about 3 to 5 feet as this comes on shore. And then Monday evening, this all lifting to the north and watching out for, of course, some areas of even inland flooding. Here's what how it kind of breaks down on the European model. The models are all very close right now. There's no big discrepancy. The American model has actually done probably a little bit better with Beryl as a whole. All have struggled with the intensity. So there is what's left of Beryl. This is today, and there's that tropical disturbance back behind it moving through the Caribbean. And then this here is by later tomorrow. The European model, and all the models try to show this have some re-strengthening. It should re-strengthen to a degree. How much, I don't know. I'll let you know what I know and don't know. I'm not sure. But then you see this here near the Cayman Islands back towards Central America. That's the other tropical disturbance flaring up the flooding that I am concerned about. And another tropical wave moving into the Eastern Caribbean, not organized though. That's by the time we get into Sunday. This here is Monday. The European model still tries to show what would be about a Category 1 hurricane lifting in the landfall would be near Corpus, kind of splitting Corpus Christi or the Galveston Bay area. And then you just see this flow coming in out of the east, which is typical this time of year across the Caribbean. So watching those tropical waves. And this here on Monday, I do have that higher concern for flooding in Central America, and that is not tied to Beryl. So let me show you that, and then we'll get back to that. This is today. Here's Jamaica, Cayman Islands. Here we are in Haiti. There's going to be some areas of flooding. Keep me posted in Jamaica, what you're kind of getting as we go throughout the day. I'll be going through your comments, so watching this rain. But as this tropical disturbance slides by, it is going to really enhance the chance of rain. So trying to give you that early heads up. There's no name system here in the Caribbean tomorrow. This is by the time we get into a Sunday afternoon. But Guatemala, El Salvador, parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, the rain is going to pick up. Not as much Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, a few passing showers. But this is by the time we get into Monday and it flares up again, that tropical wave moves in. That just enhances stuff. And it doesn't take much to give us those big downpours this time of year. So flooding is a concern here with an unnamed system. And this is by the time we get into Tuesday, still some bigger areas of rain. Now on Tuesday, as we go through the upcoming week, Eastern Caribbean, Northern Caribbean, there will be a little enhancement, a little higher chance of some rain and storms around with that other tropical wave that is sitting out in the Atlantic. But as of now, no signs of development out of that. Now, as far as the wave heights go, it is a mess. Western Gulf, you see that red in there, that corresponds to about 5 to 6 meters. So we're looking at there 15 plus feet, upwards of 20 feet with this broad wind field, and just kind of wait and see if this does become a hurricane. But also in the Caribbean, you see as we go throughout today, and this is tomorrow, things are going to be choppier. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, off the coast of Jacmel, we get into Haiti, choppier seas. So this here is on Sunday, and this here is what is Beryl, tropical storm or hurricane moving in. But as this tropical wave approaches, tropical disturbance approaches Central America, the Western Caribbean seas are going to be building some as we get into Monday, and this here is Tuesday. Still kind of choppy in some areas once we work our way into Tuesday. Now the rain, that is key for everyone. Northeast Mexico with the shift for us up to the north into Texas, that is some better news, but we never wish a system on anyone. Texas, there's going to be a swath of some rain that will be over about half a foot. Some of these colors are even off my my chart. So of course, we know some of the areas that take on some flooding will once again be taking on some flooding with this. We are thinking of you. Now we swing back here, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, even parts of eastern Cuba. This is just kind of dotting the map. If you do get some rain today and even tomorrow, we are going to get some totals of about 100 millimeters or 4 inches of rain. That is going to lead to those isolated areas of flooding. This with that tropical disturbance that is not super organized. Better chance of getting some rain south side of the Dominican Republic and some isolated showers and storms. That could give us a downpour or two back through Puerto Rico. But look at this map. Here's Guatemala, El Salvador, inland Honduras. So as we work our way into the higher terrain, western areas of Honduras, parts of Nicaragua and Costa Rica, a lot of this black shading showing up here for a 3-day total. That's 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain. And that is my concern as this tropical disturbance slides into Central America. I don't want anyone caught off guard. We are very wet already in spots. Landslide potential right through here. River rises, watching that runoff and that flooding. So thank you for sharing this information across Central America. Not a named system, but we are going to see that enhancement in some of the rain. Now, as we work our way back toward the Eastern Caribbean, some of us need to get the rain. Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. We could use some rain, isolated areas of rain, so those rain totals not super high. But Jamaica, with that tropical disturbance moving in, we do have that higher chance of rain. Not all of us will get it, but let me know if you do, because we could have areas of flooding. And thinking of us there at Jamaica with that cleanup still ongoing. Cayman Islands, same thing. A little bump in the rain chance, of course, today, but even more tomorrow. Better chance of some rain tomorrow if you're headed out to a church on our Sunday. Trinidad and Tobago, this isn't super high, but some scattered showers and storms possible as we swing through the weekend, especially tomorrow into early next week. Just watching that next tropical wave, which appears weak moving in. So Barbados, we could catch a couple showers tomorrow. St. Lucia, 40 to 50% chance tomorrow and Monday. And you see in Grenada, we're mainly dry today. Tomorrow, a 40% chance of an isolated shower or storm, up to about a 50% chance St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Not all day, but a couple passing showers possible tomorrow and Monday. 30% chance today in Martinique. Mainly dry in Dominica today. Rain chance stays very low. Guadeloupe, about a 30% chance for today, and mainly dry throughout the weekend. Antigua and Barbuda, looking long-term. I look at long-term stuff too. It looks like as we work our way to later this month, we'll see a bump up in the rain chance, and that includes St. Kitts and Nevis and over toward Montserrat, Anguilla, St. Bart's. Rain chance stays on the low side. On the low side as well, St. Martin, Saba, Statia, just a 20% chance in Puerto Rico. But as I mentioned earlier, there could be a couple isolated storms around, and then by Monday, the rain chance is higher. Say U.S. and British Virgin Islands by Monday, little bump in the rain chance, 40 to 50% chance. Mainly dry today across much of the Bahamas. There'll be a few showers, spots of showers around Turks and Caicos, rain chance 20 to 30%. Now, Dominican Republic and Haiti, the best chance of rain will be along our southern coast, and we could see those areas of flooding as that tropical disturbance moves by. Belize, as that tropical disturbance moves in as we get into the upcoming week, rain chance is a little higher. Looks like the flood threat, though, the higher flood threat would be down to the south over toward Honduras. But for us in Belize, that rain chance is going to be bumping up. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, that rain chance stays on the low side. And then we swing back toward Guyana and Suriname. We'll get those scattered areas of rain and storms with still isolated areas of flooding through the weekend into early next week. Cuba, spotty showers and storms, 40 to 50% chance this weekend and early next week. Costa Rica and Panama, rain chance bumps up. More so Costa Rica than Panama. Parts of Panama will be dry, especially eastern sections as we get closer to Colombia. Nicaragua, rain chance, that is where I'm concerned. One of the spots I'm concerned, and Honduras for that flood potential, and we are going to see the flooding in Guatemala and El Salvador. So thank you for getting the word out with that heavier rain that will be moving in. Rain chance Mexico City starting to get a little more scattered once we get into next week. 40 to 50% chance across the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. 30 to 40% chance in Colombia. 30 to 40% chance in northern Venezuela. More so as we work our way into central sections. Bermuda, we'll see a better chance of some scattered showers tomorrow. 40% chance. So Beryl makes its move toward Texas. How long it stays over the water is critical to see how much it does re-strengthen, and that tropical disturbance moving through the Caribbean, sliding towards Central America, that will bring us some of that flooding. And then a new tropical wave in the Atlantic that will be moving in for the upcoming week. No organization as of now with that, but I'll be watching out for some more batches of rain. So watching Beryl and that tropical disturbance. Thank you for passing along the information about the flooding. I'll go through the comments throughout the day. Hope you're doing well. Thinking of you in the wake of Beryl. Have a good day ahead.